Adam, it's a pleasure to welcome you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's great to be here as well.
Databricks, the company that you work for, has been on the horizon for a lot of the right reasons. And the number one reason is it's a unicorn plus.
Yes.
So let's talk about the space and the opportunity.
Yeah. So enterprises really want to take advantage of data and AI together. You think about like companies like Uber. They disrupted an entire industry that with just data and AI by just knowing how long it took, how long it's going to take for your ride to come, matching your rides, doing all those sorts of things. I think every enterprise should look at that as an opportunity to dramatically change their own industry. So what does that mean? That means if you're a retailer, how do you use data and AI to outcompete your competitors? Rather than waiting for somebody to disrupt you, think about how you can disrupt the market. And that's really what Databricks does. Uber did it by building a very bespoke solution in-house, but Databricks really offers that as an offering to their customers. We call the offering a lakehouse. It's a portmanteau between data lake, which is what people usually use for AI and storing kind of sparse data, and data warehouse, which is your traditional structured data, like a data warehouse. So it really unifies these two concepts, so you're able to do AI and BI in a single platform.
So let me ask you this. Data science has to be broken down for your consumers in a way that they understand,
Yes.
in the language that they speak.
Yes.
So how do you then translate that? Because most of you guys are data scientists, right?
Yes.
So they are understood only by a limited number of people. But the product has to be understood by a large number of people.
Yeah.
So that is a challenge in itself.
Of course.
So how do you overcome that?
Yeah. So first of all, when Databricks started, it was really for developers only. You were writing Spark code. You were taking advantage of TensorFlow directly, the TensorFlow API directly. But as we've moved along, we've made the product more and more available to more and more users. So now data analysts, even BI users can take advantage of Databricks. We have AutoML, which makes it easy to get a model going if you're not familiar with data science, as an example. And I see that march continuing. It's just going to be simpler and simpler. The biggest thing that we've done is we've announced and actually released the first release of something called Lakehouse IQ, which allows you to just put in a natural language, query and actually get a SQL query on the back end or a Python query on the back end that allows you to look at your data. So we're sort of marching down that path to make it more and more accessible to people, which is great. I mean, like I said, we started with just the most technical users, and I think we've really expanded that to, I think in the near future, all users.
So let me ask you about another equation that is not easy in companies to build. Your core tech guys, or engineering team,
Yes.
your marketing, and the people who go out and sell.
Yes.
There's not always a cohesion between the three groups, and they don't understand each other. And for companies who are so people like you who have the company Databricks have grown so big. It is important, not only important, it's vital to have this equation glued together.
Yes.
So your experience on this?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that's a very astute question. As a company scales as fast as Databricks has, some years we've doubled the size of our team, and you've got to be able to connect all these organizations together. When they don't even know their own people in their own team, how are they going to know somebody in another team? And it does risk silos. I think Databricks has a couple of things that I think make that not be as big an issue. First off is that we've always been very careful right off the bat to make sure that all of our technical teams are thinking about GTM all the time. That we actually even have our own kind of GTM meetings inside of the product and engineering organizations to make sure we're really getting that strong connection. Vice versa, we have our GTM teams actually have people that come and join us in R&D and do the same. So we're able to bridge those two together. And that's a great basis for breaking down those silos. And then there's just a bunch of execution that has to be done along with that. So how do you make sure there's good enablement, communications, all of those sorts of things? So that's and that's just execution. That's just making sure that you set good OKRs, you're achieving those OKRs and delivering them. That's how we do it.
Great points. Thank you for the clarity and thank you for being here. Appreciate that, Adam.
Of course. And thank you. This has been a great event.